Blessed is the man who does not stand in the way of sinners. And welcome this morning to this morning's Jolt. I trust that this will be as refreshing for you as it is for me. Yesterday we started with the very first verse of the book of Psalms, and today we'd like to continue with that. And it says, "Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law does he meditate day and night." And this is the second contrast. So listening to the counsel of the ungodly and starting to follow that and walking in that, even a believer, this is possible for us, that I allow this in my life, and then this progression enters, and I listen to that counsel and I start walking in that counsel. And then the second step of that progression is that I stand in the way of sinners. And it becomes a place where I am demanding a place for myself. I am saying, I have to have a place in the way of sinners. Here I stand. This is partly mine. This way is mine. And I give that way a place in myself also. The way of sinners will have a place in me as I have a place in it. And God forbid that that would happen as a believer, that habitual sin would enter into our lives, and that we would become in bondage to, I don't know, lying, theft, pornography, negativity, hatred, whatever. And it could happen. And the word says here that there is a contrast, there is a possibility, there is another possibility. And that's the second verse, of course, what we've just read. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law does he meditate day and night. Really, there is no greater liberty, there is no greater liberation in our daily lives as believers than that of the Word of God. That the way of sinners could have sway over us. We could be captured, and we could become parts of it, and we could be standing there in that way. We could become like involved in that so deeply that we think that is our place, that is where we belong. God forbid. But even if it happens, there is another way, the way of the law of the Lord, delighting in it and meditating in it. And this is so wonderful, because delighting in it, delighting in the law of the Lord, what do I delight in? In the way of sinners, or in the way of the law of the Lord, in the way of the Word of God? And how this is so key, because the Word of God is not, as we often say, it is not a collection of rules. It is not a collection of do's and don't do's. That's not what it is. It has power in it. Okay, the Word of God can deliver me. Psalm 119 verse 9. How shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed according to your word. And then verse 11, your word have I hid in my heart, that I may not sin against you. The Word of God, when I have the way of the Word of God in my heart, then I have also power to exit that way of sinners. I have the power to exit the way of sin. The Word of God is a liberating power in our lives daily. When we exhort, when we encourage, when we challenge each other to go to the Word of God, to have the Word of God daily in your life, we're not just saying it because it's the right thing to do, or because this is some theoretical exercise that will, I don't know, grow our heads into immeasurable sizes and stuff like that. It's not interesting to us, but it's very clear in the Word that when we go to the Word of God and we start moving in the way of the Word of God, then we are immediately leaving the way of sinning. And that's so wonderful, and that's such a possibility for us. And I just want to encourage you, go to the Word of God, learn the Word of God, enjoy the Word, learn to enjoy the Word of God, because it will bring amazing liberation into your life daily. God bless you with these thoughts. Hope that we will meet again here soon.